of like just pure spike dirt.
It definitely looks like kind of a pressure spike out of E-Love. I mean, they got a water Ellie as opposed to an air Ellie on FA. They have the Ranger, who's not as big of a spiker, but they do have that Paragon, who really opens up kind of midline spike opportunities. Also gives you a lot of on-demand damage for those dervishes if they see a kill coming. They can just target it and the Paragon gets on it. Paragons are really popular on Imperial Isle because it's a very open map. There's not a lot of places to hide. So while you can dodge spears pretty effectively, you're also not going to get a lot of throwing into walls and things from your Paragon. A lot of pressure here on FA. You see the kill come in here on the front line. Always, as we saw last MAT, it was a big key for a lot of victories, was spiking out front line.
It's Mesmerite. Oh wow. RC, million health heal.
Does For America have any knockdowns? I'm noticing that Equal Opportunities keeps throwing out Brace Yourselves, but I don't notice any knockdowns from the other team.
FA's early has Gale.
You often see that on the air Ellie. They'll try to Gale one monk and then spike the other one, but I haven't seen them use it yet.
Hey, death on a monk. Mesmer might be dead also.
Taking a long time
getting getting trained out here. It doesn't look like they're dying from like straight up team pressure. It's just kind of what we call training targets, where you just kind of stay on a guy for a while and just kind of wear him down.
And they're not even getting that Mesmer up like anytime. Their spikes are really not going to go through without him. She's not looking good.
Push back in their footies here, flag. Definitely, and E-Love just has this under control.
See another D shot on the Dervish numbers 1's res 6. I mean, they're trying to get him up, they just can't do it. Can't.
And when you see For America not able to spike, not allowing E-Love to just kind of do whatever they want and take a lot of damage, For America that is, their monks are going to be removing these snares that the Elementalists and the Ritualists are putting out there on their front line as well. And if those snares and boards are staying on there, it's just kind of snowballs to where they're just not doing anything real. You can just see this Evelyn guy right now, he's just not even hitting anybody. Because he's getting Icy Shackled, which is very effective against dervishes with the 90% slow if they're enchanted.
They do get the Mesmer up, but now they're like really taking the pressure. It's not just spikes that are gonna. They're in a real risk of just wiping out the pressure of it.
Yeah, their flagger went in to cap and really stretch their team in a way that they weren't ready for, and they took a big death
especially
for
while
it.
they were still under pressure.
As a flagger, I hate seeing those types of things. They should have just had one of the dervishes running.
Oh,
and a death pack kill there. That is really
right
rough.
after time
23
also.
seconds after time. The other monk going down. He's getting trained really hard. Cruel spear, dervish. I mean, the Paragon finishing him up. Equal opportunities.
Both monks down after.
Willing to kill anybody. This should be game with about a minute 20 to go.
It's really weird to kind of see them lose in that manner because the build FA's running should be able to handle the sort of, I don't know, kind of balanced spike that E-Love is running. Because they have like the extra wit with weapons, they do have the other with blind, and they just seem to get trained out despite those like sort of anti-train mechanisms. So I don't know if it was just like poor play on their part, or whether they just weren't ready and didn't know how to stop this kind of, I would say, rather unique build by E-Love. It's not something we normally see people running.
Usually you would expect For America to be running Warriors like we talked about earlier. Really quick thoughts from Robert about that. I mean, when you see Dervishes being used in a spike build over Warriors like that, where you'd think you'd see Dervishes more in a pressure build like what the European team E-Love was running. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we've provided ways for Dervish to spike. we try to, when we were going through this, we tried to do a lot of ways to make them slightly inferior to warriors in terms of their spike capabilities. It may be necessary for us to hit that again in a future update. Part of what I think we're dealing with, and this is something we've dealt with in the past, is when something's been meta for a little while, even when we change stuff, it takes a little while sometimes for people to adjust themselves. And in some cases, we even have to actually over-nerf things in order to get people to just start playing a little differently. Just because even though something may be taken down to a level where we feel it's balanced, you won't necessarily see people change immediately because they'll be used to what they've been running beforehand.
It almost even seemed like, I mean, Robert mentioned that the Paragon for eLove had Brace Yourself. It almost seemed like they too were expecting FA to run Warriors. Like, I don't know. Just a shock here and there on the spike could have done wonders for FA to get those spikes through.
Yeah, that's really the downside of running Dervishes. You're missing those knockdowns on the monks during the spike.
To answer one of the questions coming from the stream right now, some of the ways that Dervish are not as good at spiking as Warriors, we lowered a lot of their add damage on a lot of skills. Like our last update, for example, took out the add damage entirely on Wounding Strike, and we made sure to limit Dervish knockdowns very heavily. Earlier during testing, we had knockdowns on a lot of other skills, and we found that pretty early on that, like, basically Dervish could spike much better than Warriors at that point. So we ended up removing that knockdown from pretty much every skill except for a few.
Yeah, just going through Dervish abilities, you can see that they don't. I mean, Execution or Strike for Warriors has, like, you get up into the plus 40 region. You don't see really that type of skill for Dervishes. But let's keep rolling. That match is pretty quick, and Imperial Isle is always a fun one. I mean, I'm just looking at the list, and you see Forever and Ever and versus Too Tired to Play. You see number 4 and number 5. That's a top 5 battle. And those are the top 5 guilds in the universe. You always want to see those types of matches, unless anybody else has a match they really want to watch.
Nope. 2 new teams. 2 great teams. Go.
Yep.
Forever and Ever versus Too Tired to Play. Let's join it in 3, 2, 1. Right off the bat, we see Yon with a Dervish, Warrior, Ranger, Mesmer, Necro against everybody's favorite EP Spike with the Rituals Paragon Spiker. Man, as a flagger, I loved to go up against these EP Spikes. I mean, I would just stand there with, back in the days of Heal Party or Protected was KOI, and just wait to see that Ritual start to cast his attack and just throw my party heal and know that I was always going to land it. And that's what made me the best, Jackal. That's what made me the best.
The EP Spike build is a really fun build that I started seeing recently, and I just like how the evolution of Guild Wars allows for these kind of more creative builds. I don't think, you know, a year ago anyone would have thought like, hey, let's all bring Whip of Sacrifice and run that with Rodgort's Invocation on a spear throwing build. It's just really interesting how, like, even this far into the game's life cycle, you can see some new builds emerging like that.
You see Cookie Girl now just get absolutely speared in the back. That was definitely a super clean spike. No chance for Jacko or Maya. Yon is. These are a lot of people who used to play for We Want Cookies now. I'm recognizing a lot of names here.
Yeah, it is.
Jacko was their flag runner though, not their infuser. As we see the other
spikes are really clean.
See you later.
I know some guilds spike by using the timer. This might be what Lag's doing. Like spiking at 2 minutes, 2:15.
We see Bambucha here trying to make something happen. Gets a kill on a backside archer, trying to split, take advantage of Lag's the fact that they really need all their spikers to stay together, but he's dying to wands right now. It's looking pretty bleak for him. Oh, he has Ether Feast, it's fine, never mind.
Do you see one of those LE Paragons coming through the back of the lag space, though? You're gonna try and catch him as Bambucha just kind of limps away.
Yeah, they're forced. That's a really good play. You always want to run through the back if there's a guy in your base and Imperial and your front NPCs aren't down, because as you see right here, Bambucha takes a pin down. If you force him to run through all those pin downs, he's not going to get away very well. And now we're going to see that LE Paragon kind of get in on him. If he eats another pin down here. Well, actually, that front archer died already. Never mind. He is in the clear.
The
we see
four
body block here
besides,
by lag.
dude, the four without that LE Paragon have enough spike damage to stand to kill. They still do, right?
It doesn't even look like they're even trying right now. It looks like they're just in full body block mode. I'm not a big fan of this. We see it pretty much every monthly. We have an Imperial Isle match. We always bring up that you can just stand 4 people like this and body block a flag stand.
I want to see this Derp drop the flag and hit them. Give it to one of the allies.
So do I.
They're balled up.
I mean, they're
Derp
balled
can
up.
hit
That's
them all.
like Dervish time to shine.
He's wasted 20
I mean, if they're
seconds
body
trying to
blocking
get
this,
it in.
there's no reason for him to be holding the flag. They should just put it on somebody else.
Exactly. Oh wow.
Wow, he snuck it in there.
What?
Glitches his way through. Lag here though is gonna spike. Sundering Weapon up on super. He's ready to throw stuff. And down goes Jacko. It's another clean spike. What can Yawn do here to try to interrupt this spike? Because I mean these are coming in clean every time.
Well, they've often had their Ranger either going towards the split or kind of off. I mean, now he's carrying the flag even. Like, if you interrupt a couple of those Glyphs of Sacrifices, you can do a lot of work, and if not stopping the spike, at least slowing it down enough so that your monks can catch it. But he's really not even trying to take on that disruption role, which is unfortunate for them.
We see Weech Signet on their Hammer Warrior, so even he has an interrupt. He can also, as a Hammer Warrior, just wait to see, he's getting attacked here, but it doesn't look at the spike like zero. He can also wait to see if that Sundering Weapon goes up on super. You know the spike's about to come, so he can just kind of Dev Hammer any one of the spikers and kind of slow things down. So Yawn has some tools, they just haven't been using them well. So and the bad thing against this LE Paragon spike is to just take DP. I mean, it's just so hard to get it off your team. We see Lag here just holding the flag and killing this warrior again. They're holding the flag, they're not capping, they're waiting to catch so they can keep all their spikers together and be able to land some kills. They're trading kills, time for kills.
I'd like to see Yawn put another person into Lag's base, because right now it's just the Rit and the Mesmer kind of stalemating, and normally that's a decent thing because you can get pressure in it, but there's no way they're going to get pressure in on Lag, especially with them dying. They need to be able to force something on split aggressively. And they're not even trying
at
this.
30 DP on that warrior, right? So I mean, you take DP on a frontline guy. Ugh. I mean, he feels worthless. Like he can't even get up there and attack anybody. He's just gonna get spiked.
We see Lag sending their Womonk back to base and pushing their Rit up to stand. I like that response, just in general, the splits.
Looks like Bambucha's got a little bit of time for some damage on their boat, though.
He got a knife for you. Yeah, they need to execute that better. Probably just have their full team pull back. I mean, I like the
standing at the gates.
Heal Monk back.
Might have lagged.
Because he can respond to 2 people better than the Ritualist can, but that was poorly executed by them to allow Bambucha to get that knife. Meanwhile, to stand, good infuse there by Jacko. You can see they're really going after that warrior, trying to get 45 DP on.
I don't know what's going through Yon's head at this point. Like, they know there's no way they're gonna force boost. They're nowhere near a killing position at stand. I mean, besides that